All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Filipino Helping Society in Norway. My name is Maria, the secretary of the organization of the Philippines kay Hjelpe Sampu ni Norge, or FHS. Today, we are going to discuss some information and details about au pair rights in Norway. FHS is an NGO which helps with information drive to benefit the migrant groups in Norway. We are not from UDI and Caritas. We are going to present general information published by the UDI and Caritas on their website. Information may or may not apply to your situation. Discretion is necessary. Under no circumstances will our organization be held responsible or liable in any way for any claims or liabilities resulting or arising directly or indirectly from your use of the information we are about to present. Together, together with me, the FHS volunteers and members from Team UB in Norway, we have Enzo, and from Team Helse, we have Kate. And today, the representatives from Caritas, Lara and Erwin, will discuss of their services and will answer some questions related on our presentation. So sit tight, get a drink, and get your pen and paper to jot down all the necessary information that you might need. We, together with Caritas, will answer your inquiry and questions at the end of our discussion. If you have any questions, just put it on the comment section and let us open the floor. First, we would like to thank Lara and Erwin of Caritas Au Pair Center for joining us today. It is such an honor to collaborate you in this program. And to start with, can you please introduce yourselves and your duties and responsibilities in Caritas? We'll start with Lara.
Hello, thank you very much. So,
Hi, Lara.
Hi, thank you. First, I just want to say thank you to the FHS for inviting us today. It's a great pleasure to be here, and hopefully we'll be able to clarify our roles a little bit better and the questions you may have. So, as Maria said, my name is Lara, and I'm working as the leader of the Caritas Au Pair Center. I'm going to say a little bit about the Au Pair Center for those of you who may not know about us. So we were established in August 2017, and the center is run by support from the UDI, but it's not a part of the immigration authorities. Our mandate is generally to provide information and legal counseling and refer to the correct public offices or organizations when relevant. I just want to emphasize that we're not an au pair agency, so we do not match host families with au pairs. You may also find us in other places in Norway. We are in Bergen, Stavanger, Trondheim, and Drammen. And my colleague Irvin will tell a little bit about this afterwards. I just want to say a little bit about what we can do for you as a center. We organize information meetings for au pairs and host families, and in these meetings you will get some information about the au pair program in general and about your rights and duties, with which the FHS will talk about later on. We will also help with small practical problems or challenging legal issues. And if we do not have the necessary expertise, we will guide you to the correct offices. We can also assist you with conflict management with your host family if necessary and help you getting legal aid. Also, in case of a crisis, we also provide you with the necessary support and help. I just always want to make sure to Make you remember that in case of an emergency or your health and life is in danger, to contact the police or the ambulance. And in addition to the information meetings, we arrange weekly activities for au pairs. And unfortunately, nowadays, these activities are online due to the restrictions related to COVID. Also depending a little bit on which center we're talking about. At least in Oslo, the activities are online and you're welcome to join them once a week. And I also want to remind everyone out there that the Caritas Au Pair Center is a part of Caritas Resource Center. And that means that you're also welcome to use services like health counseling, legal support, internet access, Norwegian courses, and computer courses. So that is pretty much like a summary of what we can do for you and about us. So I think I would like to give the word to my colleague Irvin from Caritas Bergen.
Hey, hi, thank you for having us for tonight. Thank you,
Hi,
Lara.
Erwin.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Erwin, and I've been working for Caritas Bergen Au Pair Center for since 2017. Au Pair Center started also in 2017. So my work here in Caritas Bergen is not just in the Au Pair Center, but also in other projects. Such as assisted return, Norwegian courses, activities for our volunteers, and different other small projects that we have here in Caritas Bergen. So Caritas Bergen Au Pair Center and other local au pair centers, what do we do? So what primarily we give activities and guidance and counseling for others. Also for host families, we also give information meetings to them. So it is part of our mandate to reach out to to our group. So these are the au pair, the potential au pairs, and the host families. So here in Bergen, we do monthly activities. We try during COVID. It really depends also on the situation. Sometimes we could have physical activities, sometimes we don't. So it is very dependent on the local situation here, and so as in other centers in Trondheim, in Drammen, and in Stavanger. So to name more about the local centers, just to give you a history. So I have said Bergen and Oslo started at the same time in 2017. And then a year after, Caritas Stavanger started the Au Pair Center in 2018. And 2019, Trondheim and Drammen established the Caritas Au Pair Centers, local Au Pair Centers. So as in Caritas Oslo, Caritas Au Pair Center is part of the resource center in Caritas Bergen. So au pairs could also join other activities that Caritas Bergen has. So it could be Zumba, or it could be tour groups, it could be counseling, and it could be work-related counseling also, so judicial counseling. So we offer as much as quite the same as Oslo does. So yeah, that's what we do here in Caritas Bergen.
All right. Thank you, Laura and Erwin, for all that informations. We will be sending you backstage shortly, but you'll be joining us later again after our presentation to tackle the services offered by Caritas and to answer the questions related to the topic. Maybe some questions also from the comment. For now, you can drink tea or coffee, maybe a chocolate drink. Just relax, watch us, and provide us comment later on. We'll send you now to the backstage. Thank you so much. And now, together with Enzo and Kate, we'll do the presentation regarding your rights as an au pair. Hello to all our viewers and welcome to our live event. Know your rights as an au pair. Kindly let us know which city in Norway or place you came from. Just leave a comment down below. Again, I am Maria. Like you, I was also an au pair before and now a student and currently living in Norway and one of the team leaders of Team Newbie in Norway and one of the officers of the Philippines KL Pasampuni Norge. And on behalf of Team Newbie in Norway, and FHS family, members, and volunteers, I would like to welcome you to our event today. I'm sure you will learn a lot after this event, so let's hear from our FHS volunteers a short introduction. Kate?
Yes, that's right, Maria. Thank you for the very warm welcome. By the way, I am Kate and I'm one of the volunteer of the Filipino Helping Society in Norway. And as a volunteer, I always feel happy, doing this thing. And yeah, I think there's a lot of people right now waiting for this event because they have a lot of question about au pair. I'm also former au pair, and I also wondered what are my rights because some au pairs are really shy to ask their host family. So here's Enzo to start about what is an au pair and its purpose. Enzo?
Hi everyone, my name is Enzo and I am a volunteer of the Filipino Helping Society in Norway. I am currently the plan coordinator for newbies in Norway, and today I'm very proud and excited to be part of this discussion about au pair rights here in Norway. So the first question is, and the biggest question is, what is an au pair? Next slide, please. So an au pair means on equal terms. So this means that an au pair is regarded as a family member, and that means it's equal to other family members, and also they participate in everyday life of the host family. It is also part of a cultural exchange program wherein you participate in the daily life of your host family, learning about the culture, the language, and in exchange, assisting them with their children in their activities. So the services cover light housework and child minding. I would also like to mention that a first-time residence permit is granted for up to 2 years. And of course, a foreign national cannot hold residence permit as an au pair for more than 2 years in total. The decision must state whether the permit is renewable. Furthermore, it must state that the permit does not form the basis for a permanent residence permit. So you might ask, what is the purpose of the au pair program, right? Let's go to the next slide. So the purpose of the program is cultural exchange, as what I've mentioned previously. So au pairs shall acquire knowledge of the country in which they are received. It must belong to a special category, meaning that that the au pairs belong neither to the student category or the worker category, but to a special category that shares features with both of these categories. So the au pair placement shall not primarily be for work purposes, but also would have an educational and cultural goal. To continue the purpose of an au pair, next slide, please. The au pair lives and works in the host family. The host family must have a good knowledge of the Norwegian society and use the Norwegian language skills in everyday life. The au pair's workday must be limited and must strictly follow the rules and regulations. The au pair has the right to participate in Norwegian language and recreational activities, which means that the au pair shall be given an opportunity to participate in tuition in the Norwegian language and in other recreational activities. The most important thing is always that the au pair is given an opportunity to acquire better knowledge of the Norwegian language, culture, and society, and that is the main purpose of being an au pair. So also take note that the host family's needs for help in the home or wish for language tuition for their children, etc., is subordinate in this context. An au pair shall not be a domestic help or a child minder. So just a little trivia right here. Did you know, guys, that the Council of Europe's European Agreement in 1969 has the term au pair. So the origin of the program can be traced back to the Council of Europe's European Agreement in 1969, which defines and standardizes the conditions for au pair placements. In it, states the rules that give specific rights and responsibilities to both au pairs and host families. For more detailed information about au pair rights and regulation, it is outlined by UDE in circular called RS 2012-015, and you can also read the full version on the UDE website. So here is Kate to tackle more about who can be an au pair. Kate?
Yes, thank you, Enzo. Thank you for clarifying about au pair and its purpose. Now I would like to discuss about who can be an au pair. I would like to clarify that not everyone can be an au pair in Norway, so take note of that. There are certain requirements that the au pair needs to fulfill. Following are the requirements to be an au pair. First, the age. The age must be between 18 and 30 years old. Must have turned 18 but not have turned 30. Both men and women can be au pairs. It is a condition that the au pair is between 18 and 30 years old. This means that the au pair at the time of application must have turned 18 but not have turned 30. Second thing, children. You cannot have children. However, if you become pregnant while in Norway, this is not a valid reason for terminating the contract from the host family's side. As a rule, an au pair who has children cannot be granted a residence permit. EU EEA citizens must have a residency permit to be in Norway for more than 3 months, and you must apply for an au pair permit. If you come from a country outside of the EU EEA, you must apply for an au pair permit from your home country. Next, your host family cannot be your family member and can normally not be from your home country because the au pair program is about cultural exchange. In addition to this, I would like to clarify that au pair residence permit is not a basis of residence permit. It means that the au pair residence permit that has been granted is a permit of limited duration and does not form the basis of a permanent residence permit. This entails a clear requirement that the au pair must leave Norway when the permit expires. This means that you will return to your home country when your period as an au pair is over, unless she has other grounds for continuing to stay in Norway, is therefore a key factor. Both individual circumstances relating to the au pair and general conditions in the au pair's home country will be important in this assessment. I would like also to add that if you come from a country outside EU EEA agreements, the last point about return is particularly relevant if you come from a country that is outside of EU EEA agreements. If you choose not to return to your home country after the au pair's period has ended, you violate the Immigration Act and it can be difficult to get a permission in Norway later. Qualifications as a skilled worker pursuant to regulations. If the au pair has qualification as a skilled worker pursuant to the regulations, weight shall nonetheless not be given to whether the au pair at the end of his/her stay intends to apply for a residence permit as skilled worker. You can find more information at UDI regarding this matter, pursuant to the Immigration Act Section 23, CF the Regulation Section 6-1. Maria?
Yeah, thank you, Kate, for discussing the qualifications and about the detailed information of who can be an au pair. In addition, I would like to add about the emphasis will be placed in assessing the conditions for the au pair's return. As Kate discussed, au pair's permit is a limited duration and does not form the basis for a permanent residence permit. Meaning, there's a clear requirement that the au pair must leave Norway when the permit expires, unless he or she has other grounds for continuing to stay in Norway. Emphasis will be placed on matters such as first, whether the applicant has previously applied for asylum or a residence permit on other grounds. Second, the applicant's plan for the stay in Norway and whether it seems realistic. Third, previous experience of au pairs in the same situation from the applicant's home country. Fourth, previous experience of any sponsors in Norway. And lastly, whether it will be legally and practically possible for the applicant to return to his or her home country. And now, let's proceed to the host family. Here's Enzo to give you details about requirements of the host family. Enzo?
Thank you, Maria. So what is a host family? And specifically, what are the requirements of the host family? So a host family means a married couple, partners, or cohabitants with or without children, or a single parent with a child or children. Single persons without children are not covered by the term host family. It is a requirement that single parents must, as a rule, have at least 50% of the daily care and control of the children. This percentage must be documented, for example, by enclosing an access agreement. To continue, next slide. No family relationship. An au pair is not permitted to work for his or her own family members in the direct line of ascent or descent, or for siblings, cousins, brothers or sisters-in-law, cousins, or aunts. Nor can an au pair be the spouse or cohabitant of one of the host parents. So the host has to have knowledge about the Norwegian language and society. So the host family must have a good knowledge of the Norwegian society and mainly use the Norwegian language in everyday life. The host family must speak Norwegian to the au pair as well. So in the case of the host family, so the host family are of foreign origin, or if they are of foreign citizenship, a residence permit may be granted even if one or more members of the host family is or are of foreign origin or hold foreign citizenship. It is mainly the host parents' country of origin that is emphasized, so not the host family's children. So Swedish and Danish nationals are treated as Norwegian nationals. Host parents' country of origin is not the same as the au pair's country of origin. As a rule, it is a requirement that the host parents' country of origin is not the same as the au pair's country of origin. However, a permit may nonetheless be granted if the country of origin of one of the host parents is the same as the au pair's country of origin. In such cases, it is a condition that the host parent has lived in Norway for at least 10 years, or the other host parent should have been born and raised in Norway. So for example, a permit can be granted if an au pair is Filipino, one of the host parents is of Philippine origin and has lived in Norway for at least 10 years, and the other host parent is originally from Norway. So a permit can be granted for that. In addition to that, the other requirements of a host family, so both host parents are of foreign origin. In exceptional cases, it can also be possible to grant a permit when both host parents are of foreign origin, on the condition that the country of the origin of one of the host parents is different from the au pairs, and that both of the host parents have lived in Norway for at least 10 years. So as an example, a permit can be granted if the au pair is Russian, one of the host parents is of Russian origin and has lived in Norway for at least 10 years, and the other host parent is of Philippine origin and has lived in Norway for at least 10 years. In cases where the host family only consists of one adult and a child or children, the main rule is that a permit will not be granted if the host parent has the same country of origin as that of the au pair. So a completed e-learning course, at least one of the host parents must have completed an e-learning course for host parents before an au pair permit can be granted. So a certificate for completed e-learning course must be submitted with the application. The certificate is valid for 18 months from the date the course is completed. There's no administrative measures or should be imposed on host parents. A residence permit cannot be granted if one or both of the host parents is imposed measures due to breach of conditions for residence permit for an au pair. For more detailed information regarding this, you can visit the UDE website. And later on, Caritas Norge will discuss a lot more information about the au pair rights. But before that, Maria will tackle the duties of our host families. Maria?
Thank you, Enzo, for giving us the details about host family. And now I'll discuss about the duties of host families. It is important to remember that host families have several duties towards you as an au pair. These duties are meant to protect you and ensure that the purpose of the program is met. First, contract for cultural exchange. The contract is called Contract for Cultural Exchange between au pair and the host family. And you can find it on UDI's website. It is important that you agree on the conditions of your stay in a written contract on the conditions. And it is important to know that several of the terms in this contract cannot be changed or negotiated by the host family. Second, host families can only have one au pair at a time. A residence permit as an au pair does not entitle the holder to take employment for another host family, employer, or private person. This applies regardless of whether or not such other employment is paid. If the au pair wishes to change host families, he or she must submit a new application for a residence permit. A host family can only have one au pair at a time. It is also a requirement that the members of the host family spend time with the au pair in their everyday lives. It is the host family's duty to ensure that the au pair is not harassed or exposed to other improper behavior and that his or her dignity is not violated. Third, an au pair must live with the host family and they must provide a private room at no cost. The room should have a lock. Au pair has the right to free meals and food and to pay or have pocket money of at least 5,900 kroner before tax per month. This rate applies as of April 2019. Your host family has a duty to increase the amount in accordance with any changes. UDI may increase the rates and you can find updated information online. Next slide, please. In continuation to the duties of the host family have to offer you free Norwegian courses at a cost of at least 8,850 kroner, tax excluded, per year as of April 2019. Pay for the school materials and transport if necessary. Host families are responsible to find these courses and pay for them. But you are also welcome to find courses yourself. The rates of these courses may increase annually, and you find updated information on the UDI webpage. Host family must pay for insurance. The host family must pay for the insurance that covers your transport home in case of serious disease, injury, or death. And as I said earlier, au pair must live with host family. And regarding the tuberculosis test, the host family is responsible for you being tested for tuberculosis when you arrive in Norway if you come from a high incidence country. Which country is this? You can find it on the webpage of Folkehelse Institute. And the holiday and holiday pay. An au pair has the right to holiday and holiday pay in accordance with the Holiday Act, or what we call the Luben. And if you experience that the host family does not fulfill their duties towards you, you are welcome to contact au pair center, such as the Caritas. Often problems are resolved in dialogue when they mediate between both parties and points to the legal framework. If there are several or gross breaches of contract, you also have the possibility of reporting the situation directly to UDI. This you can do through their webpage where you can find an electronic form to fill out. UDI will evaluate the information, contact the family, and consider giving them a quarantine so that they cannot have an au pair for some time. And here's another important topic for au pair about the work and, of course, the free time. Kate?
Thank you so much, Maria, for explaining to us what are the duties of a host family. So, as we all know, or as we all knew, not everyone knew their rights about free time. It's very important that you should take note about this topic. So, let's start. Au pair work and free time. The domestic work you do and your free time can be a reason for disagreement between au pairs and host families. This is because the au pair and the host family can have different expectations to the au pair scheme. UDI have made concrete rules for how much work you can do and how much free time you are entitled to. So first, working hours should not be more than 5 hours per day or maximum 30 hours per week. Any child minding in the evening and or at night shall be included in the work hours. This applies even if the child is asleep. This means that babysitting in the evening is counted as working hours although the child is asleep. Second, au pairs have the right to 1 day off per week. You must take note of that. At least one Sunday per month must be off. In addition, the au pair shall have at least one afternoon off per week, on the same day every week. Third thing, au pairs cannot work for other employers or other families. This is illegal work and can be punishable. For the last thing, right to participate in Norwegian language classes and recreational activities. Au pairs have the right to participate in Norwegian language classes and recreational activities. Your work cannot stop you from practicing your religion. Since the au pair program is about cultural exchange, the au pair's work is limited to light domestic tasks such as household chores and taking care of children and pets. It is important that your workload is specified in detail in your contract to avoid misunderstanding. Now, I would like to emphasize that au pair are, first, entitled to at least 25 working days holiday. An au pair is entitled to at least 25 working days holiday per calendar year in accordance with the Holiday Act. Even if an au pair has not been an au pair for the whole calendar year, but started working for the host family no later than 30th of September, he or she is entitled to full holidays. If an au pair starts working after 30th of September, she is entitled to 6 working days holiday. The same applies if an au pair changes host families, provided that the au pair can document that he or she did not take holidays while working for the previous host family. Enzo?
Thank you, Kate, for that wonderful explanation about work and free time. So in addition, I would like to share the duties of an au pair and also to emphasize what they should and should not do as an au pair. So what are the duties of an au pair? That includes light domestic tasks, such as tidying up after the children, tidying up children's bed, vacuuming, mopping floors, dusting in children's rooms and in common areas, laundry, hanging clothes, and the use of dryers, ironing clothes for children, dishwashing and using of the dishwasher, cleaning up and keeping the kitchen clean, including mopping kitchen floors, grocery shopping with the exception of large grocery shopping trips, feed and walk the pets, which must be agreed upon in advance, participate in cooking of meals and cleaning up after meals for adults in the house, and of course, keeping your room clean and your bathroom clean as well. So what are the things that an au pair should not do? Please be aware of the housework au pair should not do. First is gardening. Car washing also does not include window washing, spring cleaning or any major cleaning, scrubbing of the ovens, cleaning up after the pets, tidying host parents' bed, ironing host parents' clothes, cleaning host parents' private bathroom, caring for or sitting pets during your free time or vacation. So sitting pets is, of course, work, polishing silverware, serving meals to host families' friends, nursing the host parents or host families' children with special needs. So these are no. Maria will walk us through the holiday rights of an au pair. Maria?
Thank you, Enzo, for discussing the duties of au pair. As has been discussed, the au pair must, as far as possible, be treated as a member of the family and take part in the host family's everyday domestic tasks. Aside from the duties of au pair has the right to holiday. It is important to know your rights related to payment of pocket money or pay, holiday pay, and the deduction of taxes. Even though it can be difficult to talk about the economy, it is important to agree on this beforehand. UDI uses the term pocket money or pay interchangeably. We therefore use both words here. First, au pairs have the right to pocket money or pay. Second, pocket money or pay is taxable. And third, if you have paid too much tax, you will be refunded by the tax office. Fourth, the money for Norwegian course, which is 8,850 Norwegian kroner. This is not taxable because it is considered as part of the cultural exchange. And as au pairs have the right to 25 working days of holiday per calendar year. If you start after September 30, you have the right to 6 working days of holiday. 3 of your vacation weeks can be taken between June 1st and 30th of September. And au pairs have the right to 25 working days of holiday even if they change host families. In the event of a change of host family, remember to get a written confirmation of how much holiday you have taken. And when you take vacation, you will not get paid. However, you have the right to holiday pay. And lastly, host family cannot just go on a vacation and at the same time you have a holiday that time. Your host family cannot just go on that vacation and decide that it is also your holiday. You should decide with your host family when to take vacation. And here's Kate to discuss the health and insurance of au pair.
Thank you, Maria, for your good deliberation. And yeah, it is important to take note that an au pair should have the rights of holidays. And now I would like to talk about health and insurance. So au pair must have health and insurance. First, the insurance must be taken out for the whole period during which the permit applied for will be valid. And it must be covered in full by the host family. This means that an au pair cannot be required to cover the insurance amount in whole or in part by the deduction from his/her pay, pocket money, or by other reimbursement agreements. Second thing, the insurance must also cover the au pair's return home in the event of illness or injury when the au pair can no longer fulfill the contract after he or she has received necessary medical treatment. So third thing, the insurance is linked to the au pair. Expenses incurred by the host family in connection with taking out the insurance will therefore not be refunded if the au pair leaves or changes host family. Failure to take out insurance is considered as a breach of the au pair contract. Next slide, please. As an au pair, you are a member of Norway's national insurance scheme, Folketrygden. This means that you have the right to free health services. When you have applied and received a residence card from the police, you can go to the tax office and apply for a personal number. You will also be assigned a personal doctor to whom you may visit when you need health services. If you get sick, you are entitled to a sick leave. This means you do not have to work. If you are sick for more than 3 days, you must go to the doctor to get sick leave. You are entitled to sick benefits if you have been with your host family for more than 4 weeks. It is your host family that should cover the first 16 days. Then the responsibility is transferred to NAV. If you are sick for a longer period, you can decide whether to end the au pair relationship with your host family. Dental services in Norway are not covered by the National Insurance Scheme, and it is very expensive. If you have the opportunity, it is most likely cheaper in your home country. The host family should help you get tested for tuberculosis when you arrive in Norway, if you come from a high incidence country. You also have the right to health care if you are pregnant in Norway, but if you have children in Norway, you are no longer entitled to be an au pair and you must terminate the au pair contract. So that's all for our health and insurance. Maria?
Yeah, thank you, Kate, for discussing the au pair rights to health and insurance. And in case you are returning home, or when you need to go home to your country of origin, it is a requirement that the host family pays for the whole journey, including bus to and from the airport. If the au pair changes host families during his or her stay in Norway, the new host family will take over this obligation. The host family should not pay for the journey if you choose to go to another country or stays on in Norway on different grounds. And that means that different type of permit. And even if you terminate the contract before its end, it is the host family's responsibility to pay for the return ticket, as this is one of the basic requirements of the permission. And here's Enzo to discuss if the au pair got terminated, dismissed, or wanted to change host family. Enzo?
Thank you so much, Kate and Maria, for that thorough information on holidays, economy, health insurance, and the return home of the au pairs. And I'm sure that our viewers have learned something about them. So now let's talk about termination, dismissal, or the change of host family. So it's not always that the au pair scheme works for one or the other party, because an au pair is seen as in a potentially more vulnerable situation. The threshold for terminating the contract for you is lower. Both you and your host family can terminate the contract with a notice period of at least 1 month. The termination must be in writing. The host family cannot let you go without reasonable grounds. So the host family must give you a reason for letting you go if you request this. However, you do not have to give a reason as to why you want to end the contract. The host family must pay you, and you have the right to live with them during the notice period in the same way as before. So if they owe you holiday pay, you can receive it during the notice period. The contract can be terminated by either party subject to a period of notice of at least 1 month. So that means that both you and your host family can terminate the contract with immediate effect if there is serious breach of the contract. Notice period does not apply in such situations. So the termination must be in writing. The host family cannot dismiss the au pair without reasonable grounds. So the host family shall state the grounds for the dismissal in writing if the au pair requests so. The au pair has no duty to give grounds for his or her termination. So you and your host family must report to the police or UDE for if your contract is terminated before your residence permit expires. The fact that the contract is terminated does not mean that an au pair has to leave Norway immediately. The termination of your contract does not mean that you must immediately leave Norway, and UDE and the police will alert you if they consider withdrawing your permit and giving you the opportunity to comment. You can also find a new host family and apply for a new au pair permit as long as you have a valid visa in Norway. You can apply for a change of host family at any time if you have valid au pair permit. UDE treats this as an application for renewal, and you must pay a fee. You can live and work with a new host family when you have submitted a complete application to the police. The processing time is counted in your total stay as an au pair. You can be an au pair in Norway for a maximum of 2 years. So I think that we have covered everything, and I hope that everything is clear for you by now. Let me bring in Kate. Kate or Maria?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kate and Enzo. And there you have it. And this is for the next slide is our online sources. Next slide, please. Yeah, and if you want to check more details about our presentation, just go on to that online sources. And we can now welcome Lara and Erwin to discuss their services and to have the questions and answers part after their presentation. Lara and Erwin, I'm now giving you the floor.
Yeah, I don't know. Should I start, or you want to start, or?
Okay, I think someone will raise the questions.
Mm-hmm.
I can raise the question also, and then.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you Maria? Will you be reading the questions or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to. Yeah. One of the questions is, how do I calculate holiday pay?
Yeah. How do I calculate holiday pay? So I actually prepared a small presentation about this one. So if Eunice could present it. Okay, but okay, there, I think it's coming in now. Okay, so holiday pay or holiday money, feriepenger, vacation money. So it has a lot of terms that you can use. So you earn it. Holiday pay is earned during the year before the holiday is taken. So what does that mean? So if you came in 2020, if you're an au pair came in 2020, you will not get your holiday pay in 2020, but in 2021. So a year after working as an au pair. Okay. So for example, I have practical or situational example here. Clara came to Norway in February 2019 to work as an au pair. In 2019, she worked with Petters and family from February to November. So that without the vacation there. In July 2020, she decided to travel around Norway and use her 25 days of holiday. How much holiday money or feriepenger will she receive from the family, from her host family? So here you have 5,900, which is the value of the pocket money, and plus 89. So 89 is the value of food in the year of 2019. Every year, the value of food changes. So you have to notice, for example, in 2020, the value of food was 91. And in for this year, 2021, it's 94 kroners. So the formula changes also. So value of food times 30, number of days in a month. So 8,570 times the number of months you worked in the year. And the result of that will be multiplied by 10.2% divided by 100. So this will be your feriepenger or holiday money or vacation money. Okay, that's just an example. So if au pairs find it difficult to calculate their holiday money, so they can contact us in Au Pair Center, and then we can help them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Erwin, for that detailed information. And yeah, we got a lot of questions, and maybe my other co-host can ask that question.
Yeah.
Enzo?
Okay, someone asked here that we were talking about holiday pay already. So how to start a conversation to your host family about holiday money, because I think she finds it uncomfortable to talk about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something, Lara?
Yeah, well, in general, I mean, having your holiday money is your right. And of course, I can understand it can always be uncomfortable talking about finances with anyone, and especially with a family that you are living with which is not your own family. I think I always say that a good dialogue is always a start of a good relationship between the parties. So I would, of course, say that listen, I would probably have my holidays this summer or this year, and I know that here in Norway we get holiday money instead of the pocket money or a salary. So maybe we could talk a little bit about this and figure out how we can do it. I know there is some information about it on the Caritas webpage, for example, and settle it for now, so we don't have any disagreements. I think that would be a good way to start a conversation. I know it's not easy, but it's a possibility to talk and say it like this.
I'd like to add that some au pairs would wait before they end their contract, and then they would say about the holiday money. So a lot of cases, or a lot of au pairs do that because they find it uncomfortable of telling to their host family. So please don't do that, okay? Because that is your right. Your right means no one can take it from you. Okay, so if the host family will say no, you cannot get your holiday money, so that's already a violation of the contract. So that's a big no-no.
Well, I hope that question was answered. Whoever raised that question, yeah, and it's really hard, I guess, to bring it up to your host family, considering
Or you can start conversation like, oh, I saw this brochure, au pair brochure, and it says there about holiday money.
Yeah,
Can you explain
that's a
about
good idea.
Or I went to the au pair meeting online by Caritas, and they mentioned about holiday money. So you can start a conversation like this if you find it uncomfortable to say it directly, because Filipinos or au pairs are very indirect, and we don't like talking about money because we find it impolite. But I would always say to au pairs that we are in Norway, be direct as long as you say the truth, and you're saying it the right way. There's nothing wrong about it.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. I hope everyone got that answer for that question. And there's another question here of how much taxes should an au pair pay?
Yeah.
Should I do it, or you want to do it, Irvin?
Start first, Lara, and then I will fill in later if there's something I need more.
Yeah, sure. All right. So you guys already talked about holiday pay and taxes. Generally, well, it's the tax office, or so-called Skatteetaten, that calculates your tax based on your total income in 1 year. And 1 year is from the 1st of January until the 31st of December. So it is normally table-based deduction from table 7,100, and you pay the tax on the pocket money and the value of the free board and lodging. You should always check the rates for board and lodging because they're set by Skatteetaten and they change every year. I don't know, Irvin, would you like to say something about the Payee scheme as well?
Yeah, so for the Payee system, so if your host family and you decided that you will be under the Payee system, that means pay as you earn system, so you will be deducted 25% immediately. So 25% can be too much for au pair because au pairs don't earn that much. But if you will have, or if you pay too much, then the taxes will be returned to you anyway the year after. So a lot of au pairs also ask us why am I deducted this much while my friend who's also an au pair is deducting this only, like only 600 or only 700, and I'm being deducted 1,100 or 1,400. So it differs. It varies from person to person. It varies from when did you come to Norway, because for example, if you came here in 2021 and then which month did you come, so it might vary on the total amount of your total earnings in a given year. So there is no a perfect answer for all au pairs, that all au pairs should have this kind of tax, because it's different person to person.
Yeah.
Need
I
help?
think.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
If you need clarifications about tax, again, you can just contact us.
Yeah. I think it made clear for some au pairs out there. That sometimes they have this comparison of why do that other au pair just have like this deduction, and then I just got this too much. And then the most important thing is to take a look at the tax table, and then I think it's the better way to do it.
Yeah, it's important to include the value of the food, the board and lodging, because they are only the value. That doesn't mean that the value will be added on your pocket money. No, it's quite complicated, especially for young migrants who are new to Norway. So
Yeah. I guess the au pairs that are watching right now are very fortunate enough to know that there is Caritas that will be able to help them in case they have any questions with their taxes as well. That's really very comforting, I guess, for the people watching right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Enzo. And there's a lot of au pairs here in Norway, and that means there's also a lot of questions from them. And I've been an au pair also here 4 years ago, and someone asked, I am not getting pay slips. What should I do? Because I also don't have pay slip before. So can you explain more of that?
Irvin, you can go ahead.
Okay. So payslip, what is payslip? So every time you get your pocket money from your host family, you should be getting payslip. Should. Okay, that is your right. So if you're not getting payslip, so ask your host family. Why is it important? Because you will know how much taxes are also you're paying. Okay, and later on, if the tax office will say, okay, you're not paying taxes, so you have actually evidence. It's not in my pay slips, the tax were deducted every month. So pay slips are very important. So if you're not getting it, ask. So as what Lara said earlier, it is very important to have this open communication with your host family.
Yeah. Okay, and we got another question.
Yeah, I guess it's a part of being new here in Norway for some of the au pairs out there. The bigger question is, when can I take my vacation?
So, well, you already talked a little bit about this. Like in general, we always recommend you to discuss this with your host family before you take your holidays. Usually you can take them, whenever you want in accordance with your host family. But in Norway, usually the summer vacations are between June and September. So we recommend, taking 3 of your vacation weeks at that point.
Yeah. I'd like to also add that if your host family will take you to their vacation, so I'm saying, for example, when it was still possible to travel outside of Norway, and usually host families would take their au pairs to France, to Spain, to Italy, or to Mexico, or to wherever. So that is not your vacation. Okay, and if you were there to help out, to take care of the kids or to help them out, so that is not part of your vacation. So I'd like also to add on it.
Yeah, I guess it's clear now. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are also question here, like what are considered to be light household chores? Because some of our au pairs may not know the difference between household light household chores or big household chores, something like that.
Yeah.
Can you,
I think it was already explained in the presentation, but I would like to add also that it is very common that host families would ask their au pairs to clean their cabins or their offices. So that is not allowed. Your duties are only within the corners of your or the host family's house or where you live, not more. Okay, so if they ask you to clean the cabin, that's no. That's also cultural difference, because in Norway, when families go to their cabin, it is usually they help out each other. So someone will clean, someone will cook, someone will, I don't know, dust, wipe the glasses, or yeah. So if you're the only person who's doing all these duties, so that's not already part of your work. Okay, when you go to your cabin or when you go to your host family's cabin, and they should be also helping you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Erwin. And as I said in our presentation, the au pair and host family should have a contract, and the au pair should read that contract. And as I had said before, I have been an au pair, and I read that au pair should study the Norwegian language. But there's a question that what if my host family won't let me study the Norwegian language? What shall I do? Is the value of the Norwegian course convertible into cash? Mhm.
Mhm.
Well, I can shortly answer that because there's only a short answer to that. It is your right to study Norwegian. It is stated as a part of the cultural exchange. That's why the au pair scheme is a cultural exchange. It's not a working relationship between you and your host family. So you're here also to learn Norwegian as a part of your experience. So this is something that is, pretty clear. And when it comes to the value of Norwegian courses convertible into cash, Irvin, would you like to say something about that?
Yep. We are in the Norwegian course. Yeah. Okay. The value of the Norwegian course is not convertible into cash. Okay. So, as I would always say, the Norwegian course it's like a piece of cake. Okay. If it is offered to you, if you don't want it, so it's okay. Okay. But it is your right to get it also. If you want it, then you should be getting it. So if the family won't let you study Norwegian, so that is a complete violation of the contract, because the biggest way of experiencing the culture is learning the language. So it is very vital that you learn the language, and that's why you are here in Norway to experience the culture. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Erwin and Lara.
Yeah, I guess that was answered. There's another question here. When can I enter Norway, and what can I do if I'm stuck in a different Schengen country?
Do you want me to answer? You want to answer?
You first, and I'll follow up.
You can add. Okay. Well, honestly, this is a question we get a lot lately because of the pandemic. And we just have to say that it's not really clear yet, as the regulations are changing all the time. And we always recommend you to follow the UDI's updates, as they are, directly following the government's updates and regulations. And when it comes to being stuck in a different Schengen country, For now, the Norwegian borders are not open, not even to European citizens. So there may be some countries where you still are able to hand in applications to the foreign missions. However, it must be said that the UDI is not processing these cases nowadays.
Yeah. Thank you. And I would just like to add that we get, as what Lara said, we get a lot of these questions, especially now because of the COVID-19 and the borders are closed. And au pairs would tell us if we could help them. Unfortunately, there's so little that we can do because we are not the one who's deciding when the borders will open. So if you are stuck in a different country, in Schengen country or a third country, as we would say it, contact the authorities in the country where you're living in right now and ask them or tell them about your situation, that you got a au pair visa in Norway but still cannot travel because of the situation. So ask them if it's possible for you to stay in this country, in their country, while waiting until the borders are open. So it is best to tell the authorities rather than to keep or hide, because that might be give negative implications on you and your residence in Schengen later on.
Yeah, I hope we answered that question.
Yeah. And there's another thing here. How can I change my host family? I am not happy anymore with my family. So how can I change my host family?
Well, I think you already explained this pretty good before. As you know, it's always your right to change your host family. You don't need to have like any valid reason or excuse. If you're not happy, there can be many reasons for that, but you are always allowed to do this. And as long as you have a valid pair permit, you can apply to change host families at any time. And this will be considered as an application for renewal, as mentioned before. And you can't move in with your new host family before you have filled in the application for renewal online and booked an appointment with the police. And when you have filled this in and booked the first available appointment with the police, then you can move in with your new host family.
Yeah. I would like to add that au pairs who are experiencing or if they're not happy anymore to their host family, first probably make open it to your host family that I'm not happy anymore. Tell it to them so that there might be chances that things will be better. So again, good communication, open communication is very important here. So give them a chance, or they will give you a chance, in vice versa. And then if things really don't go after giving them a chance, or they've been giving you a chance, so probably that's the time you can change host family. Don't prolong it, okay? Because 1 week, 2 weeks is very long when you're already suffering. So if you're suffering, you cannot sleep, it goes already on your mental health. So it is best to move, and your host family cannot hold you back.
Yeah, it's very important what you're saying, Irving, because actually I had a case recently, and the au pair did not communicate about her feelings to the host family, and she went so far that she was not bearing to stay with her host family, even though there was nothing wrong there, but she just didn't feel comfortable there anymore. And I specify that it's really important to have this conversation as early as possible with your host family. So either you manage to arrange it, or you just decide that you want to change your host family as soon as possible.
Again, this is very cultural difference because Filipinos sometimes we just say, or we don't say anything, we just put it in actions, and we hope that the others will understand our emotions. But most of the time, that doesn't happen. So Norwegians would ask, why is she feeling this way, or why is he doing this? So it's very important to be open. Keeping it on yourself won't help your situation. Telling it to your friends won't help your situation. You should deal with this with your host family first and foremost.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea to have
So
a
the
good
bottom line,
communication. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to have
okay.
a good and better communication with your host family to avoid misunderstandings. Like, yeah. And yeah. Enzo, would you like to add some?
Yeah, exactly the same point as well. It's all about, like, bottom line is it's all about open communication, I guess, for your host family and the au pair. Yeah.
Once again, we au pairs are here for cultural exchange. They're learning the culture of Norwegians or the Western culture, which is very direct, very open. So learn it and bring it back home to you with you, because I think that's a very beautiful culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and there's another question. And of course, a lot of questions regarding taxes. And it is our right to pay taxes. But what happens if I pay too much taxes or not enough tax?
Okay, I can answer that question. If you pay too much taxes, then the tax office will give it back to you, not on the same year, not on the same tax year, but on the next tax year. That means if you pay too much taxes in 2020, so they will give it in 2021 this year. If you paid less, so you will of course pay more. So that goes for everyone in Norway. So also au pairs would say, why our salary or pocket money is being taxed, even though we are only earning little. So unfortunately, everyone who earns in Norway should be paying taxes.
Yeah, thank you, Erwin. And I think we still have questions left.
Yeah, there's another question right here. Obviously, because there's a holiday coming up. A question says, can I take a day off during a public holiday or public holidays?
Yes, you can. So red days or bank holidays or public holidays are normally non-working holidays. Working days in Norway. So you should not be deducted any salary either.
Yeah. So guys, that's a big yes.
I only want to add because when it's winter vacation, so a lot of au pairs would also thought that it is also the au pair's vacation. Not necessarily. The answer is not necessarily. Okay, if it is winter vacation and the host family asks you to do this or do that, then and you didn't decide with your host family that it will also be your vacation, so it is not your vacation. Because winter vacation is actually for kids, for kids who are going to school, not for working people.
Would you like to add answer?
I think no.
Yeah.
I think we've answered that question quite well. Do you have more questions?
Yeah, there's a last here question. There's a last question here, and there will be at some point that the contract is immediately terminated. So where can the au pair live in case the contract is immediately terminated?
You can answer that, Irvin.
Okay. Case to case basis. Okay. An au pair can live through friends. if the au pair has a new host family and was able to send the application and was able to book an appointment to the local police, so he or she could move to the host family. In rare, very rare cases, so Caritas could help out by tapping out social services like now in their acute or emergency quarters, or we can help you out with that. But that would okay, that's quite difficult, but we will try, and Caritas will try also to tap its own resources in very um, serious cases wherein au pair has to move out on the same day.
And yeah, thank you for answering all that questions. And I think we got a lot of questions from the live comments. If you are open to answer that, like 2 or 3 questions,
No problem.
should we take 2 or 3?
Mhm.
And yeah, like one question is, if I will have my holiday on July for 25 days and my host family will say that even if I am not working, I will get paid. Is that considered to be my holiday pay or just my holiday rest days? Tak, it's from Endame. If I'm not sure if I pronounced the correct name. Yeah.
Okay. So the question, if she will take a vacation and she will get the value of her holiday or her pocket money, right? Not her holiday pay. So her pocket money will be her holiday pay. So yes and no. The host family can do that, but again, it is your right to get your holiday pay. So we advise that if this happens and then we calculate your holiday pay and we see the discrepancies, there are differences that okay, you should be actually getting more than 4,000 or than 5,000, 5,900. So we can minus the amount that you got for your vacation. So also if you got less, so if you got more instead of less, also, so we can also do adjustments probably on your next holiday pay. So if we're getting pocket money instead of holiday pay, and probably the host family didn't know about it, so we can do adjustments later on. But then again, it is your right to get your holiday pay.
And yeah.
So we have another
Okay.
question here from Bella Marie. What happens if I still don't pay tax until now because I don't have bank card, even though my permit started last year, October 30? Is the tax office will still deduct the months that I didn't pay until I get my bank card? It's a good question.
Okay. What happened if I still know? So I think she mixed it up with a bank card or with a tax card. Okay. So if if she doesn't have a tax deduction card yet, so it will be automatically 50% minus on her pocket money. However, it will be then again because she paid much taxes, so it will be given to her the year after. It's a challenge right now because of the COVID that the tax deduction cards could take longer to process than the usual times. So if you come to Norway, if you arrive to Norway, do it as soon as possible. Yeah. So also if she doesn't have bank card yet, if she thinks that she cannot have her pocket money because she doesn't have a bank card, she can have it in cash, but it must be written also. That she received this amount of money with this calculation of taxes in this date, and she would sign it, and the host family should sign it. That's very important. All transactions, monetary transactions, if you're unsure, contact us, or if you don't have bank cards, so you can have written evidences also.
Yeah, and we can take last question. How about it, Kate?
Yeah, there's the last question here. What can you advise to those au pairs who is planning to get married in Norway but having some issues with host family? Some host families are not happy with this kind of decision.
Okay, so if an au pair is planning to get married, it is your life. Other people cannot decide if you will get married or not. Okay, if they're not happy, so that is their decision. Also, questions regarding this issue, like, can I still be an au pair even though I'm already married? Yes, you can. As long as you don't have a child or children yet. Once the baby is born, so the contract stops.
Yeah, I hope that
yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Nika Wanderlust for that last question. She's also part of the Team UB in Norway, one of the team leaders. And yeah, we're done with the Q&A's part. And maybe Lara and Erwin, do you want to promote your upcoming projects or activities and do some greetings?
Well, yeah, well, in Oslo, at least we have, as I said, activities every Saturday. These are online. They're a mix of, it can be either Kahoot, it can be dance. We had yoga for a couple of weeks ago. We're trying to do like diverse activities, especially nowadays. It's not, much fun to do, so we're trying to do our best. We also have our monthly information meetings. And we're here. If you need anything, our services are always open from Monday to Friday. So you can call us or email us or also message us on Facebook. And as I said before, since we're part of the resource center, it means also that you can, come for health counseling or legal support, computer courses. We also have this language cafe, which is very nice. So you can come and practice your Norwegian. And I would also like to take this opportunity to promote the fasting campaign. Or the Lent campaign. So Lent, the season of prayer and fasting before Easter, and we are promoting this on our Facebook pages. I can share the link, which is focusing on that the Corona pandemic is exacerbating the famine crisis. So I can share the link here in the comment field, so people can go in and read a little bit more about this fasting campaign.
Yeah. Also for us here in Caritas Bergen, as also in Caritas also, we have different activities. But because of the situation, we were actually supposed to have swimming activity tomorrow, but suddenly all the restriction came yesterday, so we had to cancel it. So we are trying our best to provide activities for the au pairs. So I know that it is very hard to have social activities online because it's not that as social as doing it physical. But okay, we have to do as much as we can during these time. Also, since we are in a very difficult situation, we have in Caritas, and also in because Caritas is the helping organization of the Catholic Church. The Caritas and the Catholic Church have this challenge, which is called #RingFem, or call 5. So call 5 persons that you think that need someone to talk, that they need someone to talk to. So it's a challenge this Easter to to call your friend or someone that you met long time ago, and check on them, because now it's very difficult for everyone, and a simple call could make a big difference for a person who's suffering from loneliness.
And yeah, thank you so much, Lara and Erwin, for your time. Keep safe always, and we're hoping to collaborate with you again on our future projects.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
night, everyone.
Go Postken and go
Go
Helen.
Postken,
Go
go Helen.
Postken.
Go Poske.